Force enter the competition for the third time, looking to improve on last year's third-place campaign. Playing pseudo-host is a first-time entry in this tournament, Violette AC from Haiti. They may be new to this competition, but they are far from a side without the experience of a bigger stage. Welcome one and all to Santiago de los Caballeros, the same scene for a historic upset in 2023, courtesy of this same Haitian squad. Mark Schoenster here on the broadcast with you. This is what Group A looks like before any of the action has taken place. If you get first or second place, you can advance on to the knockout rounds of this Caribbean Cup. Each team will play 4 matches, 2 home, 2 away. So, what better time to pick up 3 points than in your first match? Both of these sides will be vying for that, and should be a really intense competition here in this one today. These are 2 of the teams that, coming into this competition, are one of the top 4 ranked teams in the Concacaf Club rankings. So, we've got Violette, the Haitian side, who, by the way, have never been here before, all the way at the top at 65th place. Meanwhile, Defense Force in 4th at 93rd, which just would suggest that these are 2 teams that see themselves getting to the knockout rounds should things go well. But of course, pre-tournament rankings don't really mean much once you get onto the pitch and you actually start kicking the ball around. But it is a nice little precursor to expectations and to anticipation going into any individual matchup. And well, where these 2 teams sit would suggest that, hey, these are 2 sides that have the belief that they can go out and win this whole thing and assuredly notch themselves into the 2027 Concacaf Champions Cup. Not only notch themselves a spot, but also earn a bye in that competition. Top 3 teams in this cup, though, will all make their way through. So if you could get to the knockout stages, you're giving yourself a really good shot to make it to the biggest of the club competitions in CONCACAF. Both the sides made their way into this stadium earlier, the Estadio PUCMM. Both eager to collect all 3 points and start on all the right feet before and thinking about the rest of the campaign. Campaign that they will be hoping lasts over the months. This is a competition that is obviously starting today, but if you are as successful as you hope to be, you're going to still be playing in this competition in December. The group stage goes from now until mid-September. So you are looking at some games just being sprinkled about throughout these next few weeks, and then the big ones, the knockout games, once we get into the fall calendar. But the fact of the matter is you can't start looking too far ahead. You got to take it 1 game at a time, and that is what these 2 teams will be doing as they try to stake their claim at the top of this group with the opening foray in this competition. Saw the weather earlier. It's certainly going to be a factor today. 85 degrees, 70% humidity, a little breezy, around 9 miles per hour wind in the Dominican Republic. This will count as one of the home games for Violette, as they utilize this location to count for their home matches. Fans are filing in, getting ready to tune in to some footy. Perhaps some just itching to get some of that live soccer action after all the buzz this summer. And now this is the next great chance for a big competition to be witnessed in person. Got some players with some great experience on both of these teams, whether it be in this competition in particular or other CONCACAF participation as a club player, but also as an international player. With that in mind, we're going to step aside for the intro ceremony. let's take a look at our starting lineups. First off, for Violette from Haiti, the big things you want to highlight here is the spine of this formation. Cicerone, Sabah, Vidrine, and Sherry. Those guys are all players who have experience in the Concacaf Champions Cup and knocking off an MLS team, Austin FC, a couple years ago. They'll be looking to put together another solid campaign in this tournament. They won't need to pull off something as stunning tonight. They are the team that are ranked higher than their opposition. As we look at the officiating crew, Sergio Rosenau will be looking to maintain order on the pitch, along with, of course, his help of the fourth official and the two assistants. You see the captains, Jamali Garcia, along with Steven Sabah. Garcia and Sabah, by the way, both 33 years old, so two of the experienced guys on these rosters. No surprise they'd be the ones donning the armbands. Now we get the starting lineup for Defense Force. The two names I want to highlight to you are players with Soccer Warrior experience. Justin Garcia, over 35 caps for his national team, anchoring that back line as one of the center backs. And then Rion Moore, another guy who has 35 caps for the Soccer Warriors, last being in June. So these are players that are trusted at that level of competition. So you would imagine these are the kind of guys you want to trust in this one. It'll be Defense Force in the black kits and Violette in the white. Both sides looking to be the first team from their respective country to win this competition. It's only year number 4 in the Caribbean Cup, so up to this point, only clubs from 2 separate countries, Suriname and Jamaica, have been able to claim this trophy. But it has been a different team every year so far. So will one of these teams, after the final whistle of this competition, be hoisting a trophy? Today is the first day for them to take a step in that direction. The whistle sounds and the Caribbean Cup campaign has begun for Violette and Defense Force. Mark Schoenster with you here on commentary. Excited to be witnessing this one with you. This is Hilaire with the ball. It gets poked away from him. This game taking place at the Estadio PUCMM, a home, or at least a temp home for games in the past for Violette. There's a look at the manager for the visitors' Defense Force. Got Walt Noriega and Roni Atimi, the men in charge of these two sides. Long ball played up for Nader Sherry, a player that is certainly one to keep your eyes on as this game goes along. Number 20 in white. He's hard to miss, a pretty tall fella at the top of the formation. Violette, the top-ranked team in this competition, so As far as the club rankings are concerned, they are the favorites to win, despite this being their first foray into the competition. Defense Force currently 4th in that ranking, and they have the benefit of this being their 3rd entry into this cup. First time placed 4th, last year placed 3rd. Well, you kind of like the step-by-step process here. Obviously, you want to go for first in this one, but you also would take a 2nd place finish as well. This one, take it towards goal, and ends up blazing wide. Played off nicely by Cherie. Noriega chatting with his coaching staff. I'll be glad that that was a shot that didn't test his goalkeeper, Isaiah Williams. To see who does the goal scoring this year for Defense Force in this competition. Kevin Molino not on the roster as it stands right now. Had 4 goals, 2 assists in the 2025 Cup, as this one is fired. And once again, off target. Steven Sabat trying his luck from distance. Jelani Felix rolls it up. Getting tied up there and earning our first foul whistle of the game is Shaquille Holder. 32 years old, his 9th year with Defense Force. Flag does not pop up despite some appeals from the side, hailing from Trinidad and Tobago. Hopeful ball forward. Too close to the goalkeeper, Isaiah Williams, who will quickly distribute. Rivaldo Coriat. Coriat's on it again. The ball's taken away by Vadrine. And the long ball, this one can be cooped in. Norstan cutting back the pass. And that one had some fizz behind it. Nader Cherie couldn't put it on frame. He's trying to contort his body around it and twist it towards goal. He was able to generate the juice, but that was only one piece of the equation. Positive start here for Violette in the opening minutes of this match. Already a couple of efforts towards goal. This being their Caribbean Cup debut, the 4th club from Haiti to have their name be in this tournament. Looking to beat the First Haitian team to, quote-unquote, win a game they hosted against a club from Trinidad and Tobago in this competition. Of course, each of those hosting instances taking place in a neutral field, but counts as the home game for the Haitian club. This one settled down by Norstan. He has it again. Twisting as he goes, trying to feed it forward. It's not a bad idea. Vadrine was making the run. Hopeful ball sent over to the left-hand side, and that hope is found. Violette once again on the prowl. Some open space, the shot's taken, blocked away. Another player goes down, and this time Rosenhout sounds the whistle. Another chance here in the early stages for Violette. Not even 10 minutes into this one, and several box touches already for the Haitian side, but they haven't quite tested Isaiah Williams yet. So that'll be the end of things that Defense Force will be pleased with. Of course, when you say a club is having their first entry into the Concacaf Caribbean Cup, it doesn't necessarily paint the whole picture, given this is just the 4th year of this competition's existence, and there were other competitions prior to this one. 4 teams like this to be in Violette, having played in the CFU Club Shield and also the Concacaf Champions Cup, which we've already talked about briefly. Williams drilling that to midfield, where it'll be settled down. Gathon St. Hilaire ends up committing the foul after trying to bring in that kick from his goalkeeper. He got a handful of jersey. Defense Force looking to enjoy some of possession here after taking a couple stings early from Violette. Minutes in, the majority of this game has been played in the attacking half for Violette. Right now the visitors trying to turn that tide even a smidge. Ten teams in the competition this year. 2 groups. This is Group A. Of course, that means the even split, 5 apiece, with 2 teams making it through in each. And watching the first match day game for each of these 2 sides. There will be another in August, and then it'll keep going into September as the table starts to really take shape. Of course, on top of bragging rights in amongst the Caribbean islands and the trophy that comes with it, you also are vying for one of 3 spots in the 2027 Concacaf Champions Cup. Ball bouncing into the 18. Sherry trying to chase it down, but instead it's nodded to the goalkeeper by Jamali Garcia, the captain. So far, a match that's been controlled by Violette. Can they find a goal to show for it? Ball played across the middle for Sherry! He loves scoring at this venue, and Violette have made their Caribbean Cup goal presence. It's a lovely pass. Nato Sherry just needs to slide onto it. Well deserved from the 28-year-old striker in for his team. Just had to slide onto it. And now Violette have the advantage in this game. One they've earned up to this point. Already on the front foot in this game, and now defense for us are gonna have to, as the game goes along at least, delve into riskier methods to try to get back into this one. So a lot of time for the flow of this game to turn and change, but in the opening 14 minutes, it's basically been all in favor of the boys in the white kits, and now they also have the advantage on the score sheet, and surely they'll be hunting to cushion that advantage. What kind of response on this side from Trinidad and Tobago muster? Well, it won't start with something like that. Nader Sherry with the goal in this game. Last played for Haiphong FC in Vietnam before making his way back to play in his home country. One of the more well-traveled players on this roster. That is how the second game of the competition will start. This being the second match of the opening day. The other game finishing Salcedo FC knocking off Portmore United 2-1. This being the final match of the opening fixtures. It's about we'll play tomorrow against Cavalier, two sides that are pretty familiar with this cup at this point. And then on Thursday, we'll get Sando FC and SV Brokey. The schedule always ends up being a little bit jagged when you have 5 teams in each group, because just an odd number of teams means you're always going to have a side during each match day window that'll just sit from home and assess the damage afterwards and see, all right, who's sitting where, who's shifting where. Leon Moore looking to see if he can muster something for his side. This is a guy, 29 years old, who, coincidentally enough, just talking about Nader Cherie earlier, also last played in Vietnam before making his way back to his home country. Having played for SLNAFC, which is the same place that his teammate Justin Garcia last played. So both of which having made that return trek, and it's got to be a fun little shared bond experience having that. Such a distant location from your home of Haiti. Well, excuse me, for them, for Trinidad and Tobago, Nader Cherie would be how distant he was from Haiti. Well, for a moment, it looked like something was brewing again there for Violette. Perhaps a chance to get vertical now for Defense Force. We'll switch over to the right-hand side. Holder plays it back to Bertrand. And they didn't like their options going forward, but now perhaps they do. Lofted ball, looking for St. Hilaire. The outside flag goes up. On the ball now is Rion Moore. Had a run on the outside, chose to not make that cutting pass. Or at least to attempt it. Obviously, you can't assume the completion of any pass you take, but ball rolls in centrally. That one tried to be knifed through by Holder. Oh, they were trying to spring Cherie free there. Their big target man, number 20, already with 1 goal in this game. Man who scored a brace in that historic night against Austin FC. Game that took place here. That taking place back in 2023. What a huge result that was. It was a 2-legged round of 16 game in the Concacaf Champions Cup against the Major League Soccer unit. We'll hold that thought for a moment as they're hunting for a second goal here tonight. Ball driven in centrally and pinged away. Justin Garcia providing the clearance. Yeah, Violette that night winning 3-0 here in Santiago de los Caballeros against Austin FC, which meant they were up 3-0 on aggregate, but then had to go to Q2 Stadium in Austin and maintain that result. That was shorthanded, did not fill out their bench, still got the job done, and then just ended up only losing that second game 2-0, which meant 3-2 on aggregate. You make it through. There's the foul on the back of the head of Catherine St. Hilaire. Both these sides Maybe looking to get their next chance to conjure up one of those historic upsets against one of the big boy clubs in the Concacaf, whether it be MLS side or one of the Liga MX teams. Top three here in this competition make it into the 2027 edition of the Champions Cup. If you win the competition, as in win the Caribbean Cup, you get a bye to the round of 16, which is where that upset took place last time. So there's the little extra reward you get on top of silverware for winning this cup. That's if you didn't need motivation enough. Violette. Really their first foray into the attacking third, and well, it was very temporary for a defense force, but they're trying to get the numbers forward. It's a good turn from Elie Vince de Jean. Oh, just shrugging by one defender. They'll keep it going. So quality being displayed here from Violette, both in the team sense, but also on the individual level. On the ball now is Steven Sabat, one of those anchor points on this Violette side. Him alongside Jean-Fabrice Verdrine and Fernando Cicerone are all guys with Sherry, whom played in that series against Austin FC and the one that ensued against Lyon. Violette draws the foul. It'll be a free kick for Defense Force. Both these sides looking to be at the top of Group A after the first match in the group. Here's a hopeful ball. Ends up booted away, but still at the feet of Defense Force. Second cross, and it's claimed for the first time today. And the goalkeeper for Violette AC, Guli Elien. First time that he's been called into action, the 26-year-old keeper. Well, some calls for a handball will not be seen by our head official. St. Hilaire. It's a backup stepping in for Violette, making it more difficult for the winger. That pass is a little bit too far ahead. Will end up being a throw in for Defense Force. Remember, these teams are in a group with Club Sando, another team from Trinidad and Tobago, SV Broki from Suriname, and then Delfines del Este from here in the Dominican Republic. That'll be who they're trying to vie for one of those top two spots with. Should you get first or second place in the group stage, then you'll make it to the knockout round. And you'll end up playing either the first place team in Group B, should you get second in this group, or vice versa. And it would be a home and away series, two-legged for those semifinal matches. The same for the third place games in the final, which will take place at the end of the year. Dijon. Sherry does well to tap it back. On the ball right now is Norstan. Here's once again, he's been heavily involved so far, and this time playing over the left-hand side. Oh, that's been won back by Violette. Turning around now, Dijon to Sherry, the goal scorer. He's able to spray it out wide. Vedrine with the cross. Tried to find Sherry. Couldn't get his boot on the end of it. Another hunting moment for Violette. Felix takes a step forward. Trying to roll it into danger, but instead it finds Jerry-Anis. Jean-Fabrice Vedrine. Good defending. Coriat tracking back for his left back who had started making the venture forward. Did well there in his stead. To snuff any sort of danger from that moment. Well, that settled down. What can Moore do here? It just doesn't reach the intended target. Minutes into this game, Violette with the opening goal and their first in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. Nader Sherry able to poke it home. It was slid nicely to him. Let's look at that moment from a couple instances ago. Rion Moore settling down that pass. Now we got another player down as the ball gets lofted up the pitch. It's at the feet of Williams. And now the whistle will sound once again because it did look like Anis went down. Stretcher comes out as the training staff gets out there to tend to Jerry-Anis, 24-year-old center back. Now they'll try to ascertain how significant this injury feels, and then also if it's not super serious, does he still need to be subbed out of the game or not? Well, it looks like he's going to get subbed. So now everyone will turn to the pitch. And Williams will get things going once again, once the go-ahead's been given. Garcia. Down the field it goes to St. Hilaire. They've liked him on this left-hand side on the attack. That's a nice ball through, tap back. Turning, it's shooting, it's blocked away. The first real effort for Defense Force. Violette was down a man for just a moment, and they took advantage, but They're back at 11-man strong. Dukins Pierre will sub on for Nice as this corner kick gets prepared to be taken. A set piece earned from some lovely passing from defense force, but it's not a lovely pass on that corner kick. Sails over everybody. And Violette will look to get back on the aggressive side of things. Bertrand commits the foul. Free kick incoming. Yeah, that'll be a hard one to get away with, especially with the assistant right there with the front row seat. Marston cutting into the middle. Lovely intervention from Justin Sadu. Both of these sides looking to be the first team from their respective country to win the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. First edition was won by Surinam's SV Robin Hood, and in the past 2 years, it's been Jamaican clubs who have hoisted the trophy, whether it be Cavalier in 2024 or Mount Pleasant last year. All the quality footballing nations represented here in this competition each year. Garcia plays it out to Felix. That pass from Coriat just went into nowhere. Cherie tries to settle that vertical ball. Couldn't quite be brought in. Last year it was Mount Pleasant and OAMA that made it to the final. That would have been an instance had OAMA won, that a new country was represented as the title holder, but wasn't to be. Violette will be looking to, as the highest ranked team in this competition, be a first, but also, of course, you look at Mount Pleasant, who are the defending champions, as another one of those teams that you would consider a favorite. But how well you did a year prior doesn't have a ton of bearing on how you're going to do the year following. Sadu floats it in, and it's caught by the keeper. Rising up and getting the job done. How about that intervention? This could brew into something nice. Moore taps it back out. Cross didn't have enough air underneath it. Marc Marcier will settle it back to his back line. As the game has gone along, Defense Force have started to find a little more room going forward, but there have still been those pokes going the other direction for Violette, and of course the obvious element here in the room, which is the 1-0 lead that they've accrued from that very promising start to this match. Another player down. Catherine St. Hilaire clutching at his right knee. Already one substitution's had to be made in this match. Looks like he's going to be helped back up and will be able to walk this one off and keep on running, but it is a challenge that'll result in our first yellow card of the evening. So the card's been given. Marcier will go into the books. I wonder if there's any sort of dissent also to be assessed there. Certainly seemed like a genuine play for the ball there, but different people have different interpretations of the violence of a challenge. Long ball settled down nicely. Moore still going, it's saved. Rion Moore brings down the long ball and has a tested goal. Elian is up for the challenge. Just trying to shake off the defender here. Does a couple of feints, tries to look him off, and then his shot is not quite dangerous enough. But this one, maybe a little bit more bite to it on the other end. Norriston had to go. Isaiah Williams was ready for it. Got his palms out ready. 40 minutes into this game. A little bit of a lively stretch. Sabah goes down. Free kick incoming for Violette. Took a moment for that whistle to be sounded as the captain is still down. Face planted here on the grounds of the Estadio POCMM. Looks like he's doing all right, though, Sabah. He'll also be the one to take this free kick. Sabah's cross curling in just over the head of its intended target, the substitute, Duquesne's Pierre. Just couldn't quite rise up for that one. Effort there from Norriston, who has been a busy character in this story so far. You're watching the opening day of the Concacaf Caribbean Cup, game number 2 across the span of this competition. You have another game tomorrow and Thursday. Then the action picks back up the 18th of August into the 20th. We'll get these spaced out matches as the weeks continue up till September 17th, being the last day of group stage games. The semis will be in October, mid-October and late October, and then December 1st and the 5th for those finals and third place matches. Rion Moore lays it out to the right-hand side. Cross blocked away. Nice little dummy. Lifted up into the air. Couldn't get by the keeper. Shaquille Holder trying to cut it through, but Violette was ready for it, and so was his partner in crime on that back line. That's well done, closed off between him and Cicerone. It's a lovely dummy turning into a run from Shaquille Holder, and it results in this corner kick. Rising up, the keeper is able to claim this one. That one just reaches its target. Galloping forward now. Defense force! Oh, it goes off the woodwork. So close to an equalizer. It's truly been building here for defense force. Violette will be looking to cut it off with the ball here, but they lose it. I wonder if the guys in the black kits can feel the tide pushing in their favor. 2 more minutes will be tacked on. Can they find a leveling goal before we go to the break? Will Violette be able to hang on into the halftime? That's well worked, but a sliding challenge dishes it out of harm's way for now by Cicerone. Well, the call is that it glanced off of a defense force player last, so it's actually well done from the center back. Jelani Felix. Out over the left-hand side. Bertrand. Now coming from the left channel, and that cross ends up sailing out of bounds with 1 more minute to go in the half. Holder on the ball. Shaquille Holder plays it back. Long distance effort. Not enough pace on that shot. And Violette is able to await it. Just a handful of seconds left to go. And the whistle will sound. Pretty compelling 45+ minutes here in this opening bout for these two teams in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. The difference after a blistering start is a goal from Nader Sherry that has put Violette ahead in their debut match in this competition. What we're going to do now is we're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have some of the highlights here for you. But 1-0 is your scoreline here as we go into the break. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first half of action here between Violette and Defense Force. It is the Haitian side, Violette, in their first trip in this Concacaf Caribbean Cup. It's the third for Defense Force, the club hailing from Trinidad and Tobago. Things got started here in Santiago de los Caballeros for the pseudo-home game for Violette. Side with some big expectations coming into this competition, and boy, did they live up to them here in the start. A couple of early chances that they were able to generate. They weren't able to get them onto goal until this lovely pass sliding in. Ellie Vince DeJean puts it on a platter, and Nader Sherry, he knows how to score here at this venue. Puts his team up, and from there, you're daring Defense Force to come up with something for an answer. Up to then, there really wasn't any promise, but as this game went along and time continued to tick on by, the chances got better and better for Defense Force, to the point that you're probably bemoaning the fact that a whistle had to sound because it was mounting to something. It just didn't quite find that equalizing goal up to that point. There's still the next 45 minutes, but you wonder if the break has cut off the steam there for Defense Force. I'm curious to see how it develops from that front as we see the yellow card that was brandished against Marc Marcier. There's the shot on goal from Rion Moore. Able to look off the defender and find himself a window to shoot. Trying to pick out that bottom left corner. And then this, the best moment of the game for Defense Force. It's a great dummy into a lovely lifted pass. Shaquille Holder right here. Dummy turns, immediately sent back to him by Rion Moore. But recognizing the danger there is both Guillermo and Fernando Cicerone. They're able to put that one to a close. Then this is the shot that dinged off the left post. It was gonna take a great effort from there, and boy, was it close. Let's take a look at those halftime stats. This is what these two teams have been able to accrue. At first, it was very lopsided, but then I guess you could argue it was starting to turn lopsided in favor of Defense Force from there. So, be curious to see how the ebbs and the flows present themselves in the second 45 minutes of action. Should be a compelling watch. These are two teams that both have what it takes to really make a run in this tournament. Let's see what they do in the second half of action after this break.
And so here we go, 10 clubs in the top Caribbean professional leagues.
Darted across, a chance, and it's a second. And well on their way to finishing Group A with a win.
This broadcast is copyrighted by Concacaf for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any picture descriptions or accounts of the game without the consent of Concacaf is strictly prohibited.
And so here we go, 10 clubs in the top Caribbean professional leagues. The Concacaf Caribbean Cup.
Darted across, a chance, and it's a second. And well on their way to finishing Group A with a win.
so here we go, 10 clubs in the top Caribbean professional leagues. The Concacaf Caribbean Cup.
Darted across, a chance, and it's a second, and well on their way to finishing Group A with a win.
Whistle about to be sounded here from Sergio Rosenhout here in the second half, where the scoreline is 1-0. Violette with the lead over Defense Force. Nader Cherie with the goal to put Violette ahead in their opening match in their club's history in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. Mark Schoenstrong commentary with you as, well, I thought we were about to get things started, but looks like we have one more order to get to before the whistle is sounded. We got 2 substitutions. Stevenson, Jamail, and Clifford Louis-Jean subbing into the game. Marcier and Vidrine taking their leave for Violette. Rion Moore eager to get this one going, as Defense Force are going to try to build off of the steam they generated throughout the latter 20 to 25 minutes of the first half. Can they pick up where they left off? Or can Violette recreate the way this game started, which was where they were overwhelming, and that pressure resulted in a goal? Clerge sends it inside. Cherie has a hit, knocked down by Williams. That's a good start for the Haitian side. Dejean trying to combine once again with Cherie. Those are the two that connected on the lone goal in this match. Looks like Shaquille Bertrand is down on the ground. Just along, or outside of the touchline. Play will continue while he's getting looked at, which means Defense Force shorthanded at the moment. Can they move the ball around quickly, take advantage of that fact? There's Cicerone on the ball, rolling it forward. Louis-Jean plays it back to the other part of that center back pairing now to Ken's Pierre. Pierre not originally starting, but had to sub in early in the match for Jerry Anise. Ball slotted down the right channel. Sprayed into the middle for Cherie. Well defended on that play by Jamali Garcia. And a substitution will be made. Well, Noriega having to go into the bench for the first time in this game. Not necessitated by strategy, but just by sheer availability. Bertrand goes off, and Darius Oliveira will sub in. Not a bad guy to be able to bring on. Ross brought in. Cicerone was one on the receiving end of it. He didn't have the best angle. Oliveira, 29 years old. Carenage in Trinidad and Tobago. That's a good step there from Louis-Jean, the 19-year-old midfielder. This is the first match in Group A of the Concacaf Caribbean Cup here in 2026. SV Broki, Club Sando, and Delfines, the other 3 teams within this group. Violette looking to stand at the top as it stands right now with 3 points, with a +1 goal differential. Of course, Still a lot of action left to be had in this game here. Christian Bailey able to poke it out wide to St. Hilaire. Plays it back into the middle. Coriat has the ball knocked off of him. Couldn't quite carry it forward there with Steven Sabat. One of the guys who really makes this team tick for Violette. Another one of those few players that has ventured out of Haiti to play club ball elsewhere. Started with Violette, ended up spending a year with now known as CF Montreal, but it was the Montreal Impact when he first got there. That being in the MLS. But he's made his return here at the age of 33. Violette, this being their first ever appearance in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. Fourth team from Haiti to qualify. They've played in 6 Concacaf Champions Cups, though, having won it all in 1984. And then also competed in 3 CFU Club Championships as well, having won the 2022 edition, which is what helped them get into the Championships Cup, or the Champions Cup, excuse me, a year later, where they were able to best Austin, which took place at this, well, at least one leg of it took place here at this very stadium. The critical leg to the upset took place here. Dyson Norstan had to be helped off of the pitch there. He was pretty critical to their build in the attacking third in the first half of action. Could be another early substitution here in the second half. As you expect at this time of the year, it's pretty warm and humid in Santiago de los Caballeros. 83 degrees right now, 77% humidity. A light breeze, but nothing too significant on that front. They're gonna call a foul here on Cafon St. Hilaire, who left a tag on Elie Vins de Jean. They may have to look his way even more so in the second half, because there's that substitution that you're fearing. Another player subbed out of the game, not for tactical reasons, but because they picked up an injury. Stade Placimont subs into the match. That one's just going to roll through. both teams have had to make substitutions due to players being hurt. Certainly not something you are hoping for in a match. It's a long season though, both got a couple more games left in this competition, but also just in the rest of the matches and tournaments and just activities in general they're trying to participate in. This isn't the game where you're trying to push your limits as far as what you can and can't play through. Violette playing this one all the way up the pitch. Can Holder find it? He has it now. Shaquille Holder sliding it through. St. Hilaire can't put it on frame. Shaquille Holder, it was a proper scrap to see who could get that ball. He ends up winning the battle. He plays a teasing ball to his man over on the right-hand side, but just didn't have that finishing quality. First moment here in the second half for either team, really. Took about 10 minutes for one of the sides to knock on the door after it was a frenetic opening stages in the first half of action. Defense Force hunting for that equalizer here in their third appearance in this competition. Here they come again. Moore out to the left-hand side. Violette. Oh, that got lost between several targets. Could Violette be onto something on the other side? Sherry with both center backs in front of him. That's a heavy touch. Dijon still has it though, rolls it into the middle, and the clearance is given. That center back pairing of Jamali Garcia and Justin Garcia could open a law firm with that duo. Kelly Clerge, a little bit too handsy there in that interaction. As far as teams representing Trinidad and Tobago in this competition, Defense Force have the badges to hold. They've now playing in their 13th match in this competition, which is the most of any team from Trinidad and Tobago, and they have 5 wins in this competition up to this point, which is the most of any team from the country. Right now trying to, first things first, avoid a loss as this one swerved inside! It goes off the crossbar. Sherry so close to a brace. They're hunting again, Violette. That pass from Dijon. Couldn't quite do what it needed, but they're on it once more. Nader Sherry at any given moment, if the ball is anywhere in his vicinity in the box, it's a moment you gotta hold your breath. Sabah to Louis Jean. How about that step from Clifford Louis Jean, the teenager? Showing some shiftiness here. That touch just getting away, but Sherry's there for backup. Can they find the pass here? Dijon settles it down, plays it along. Louis Jean on it now. Ball back up top. Sabah doesn't like his options going forward. Violette has suddenly flipped a switch and are back hunting once again. It's going to be another whistle from our head official, Sergio Rosenhout. Him and his 2 assistants hailing from Suriname. Here's a look at that cross to Sherry. Oh, so close. The big man looking for another goal here. He's the one who's put his team in front. It's the only goal after 60 minutes of action. Sherry coming from an offside position to retrieve that pass. This game taking place in Santiago de los Caballeros in the Dominican Republic, counting as a home game for Violette. Here being played at the stadium. It's also host to Cibao FC in the Liga Dominicana, I should say. Gonna get a change here for Walt Noriega as Kevon Goddard will sub into the game. And that'll be the end for Shaquille Holdart, who had some good moments in hold-up play. Just couldn't quite help his team find the end product. Dejan shrugs off one defender, tried to split 2 more. Ends up being a bit too much to chew on. Good defense force beyond in the other direction. Ooh, that should be a booking. That's a promising opportunity that's been put to the wayside. The yellow card is out, and it will be given. Against Pierre. Certainly going to the books for that one. And a free kick for defense force. See the fans in attendance looking on here. Good catch from Goulielien. He'll quickly roll it up the pitch. But this could mean something promising for defense force. Trying to catch the goalkeeper, lacking there as imagine you distribute the ball, you don't expect a shot on goal that quickly after you just rolled it to a teammate. And the execution wasn't quite there, and then at that point you're just still waiting to see how prepared the goalkeeper is in that moment. Clearance doesn't go very far. Violette's able to manage. Sherry heads over to the right-hand side nicely. Simon running onto the ball. It's a ball played into the center, but there's a Sherry-sized hole there in the box, having helped the build-up and wasn't at the forefront of the attack as he often is. Now I got a player down, and it looks to be Sherry, who is on the ground for Violette. Goal scorer in this match. And she played in Vietnam, has also played in the United States in the USL Championship with the Oakland Roots back in 2024. Had 2 goals and an assist that season. Once again, making a name for himself in Concacaf competitions. Will his goal be enough? It looks like he's going to try to walk this off and get back into the game. Still 25 more minutes to go. Will Violette find an insurance goal, or do Defense Force have a response in them? Nothing in this half so far has compared in threat to 2 or 3 of the chances they were able to find as the first half wore along. First game of the day ended Salcedo FC victorious 2-1 against Portmore United. The rest of the matches here in the first match week of the season of this competition will just be standalone games, with Sabal and Cavalier tomorrow, as we've got a body flying into the boards as Defense Force are trying to pry something open. And then on Thursday, it'll be another standalone. Club Sando FC and SV Broki. All these teams hungry to represent their countries well, just to win any competition that's played in front of them, and also to earn the chance to play against some of the biggest teams in all of Concacaf by making it to the Champions Cup. And I think about some of the names that you could run into. If you go up against the Liga MX side or an MLS side, there are some legends on those teams. But for Louis Jean, knocked over, and we've got another player down for Defense Force. And it'll be another yellow card that will be thrown out here. Justin Garcia, one of the veteran players on this Defense Force team, who's ailing, part of that center back duo between him and Jamali Garcia. And that's a hit to the face from Nader Sherry, the goal scorer. So he'll go into the books. So he gets his shirt tugged. It's one of those situations where you wonder if he knew what he was doing. If you were just walking down the street and you saw that happen, you would imagine it's probably incidental, but also they're players who are pretty crafty and smart about being able to flail their arms back and sort of make it appear as if it were incidental when you were definitely trying to throw out an arm and knock the guy off of you, maybe dish some payback in the process. This throw-in will be left behind and kind of contributing to what started to turn into a choppy second half here, and that'll continue with this whistle. It bodes in favor of the team leading because the flow of the game just doesn't lend itself to a side really brewing up any flow on the field and that chemistry needed to score a goal and break through a side. This ball lofted up ahead, but the offside flag will pop up, halting that one dead in its tracks. Well, here's a pressure rewarding to a moment for Defense Force, dragging back, straight at the keeper, it's still loose, and then claimed. St. Hilaire with a clear opportunity right around the penalty marker. It was a moment of life for Defense Force. Violette will look to try to stale this game once again. That was a spooky moment for the team in front. Here's a look at this ball once again. Oh, it's set up so perfectly. And it ends up going straight where Elian has positioned himself. Dejean squares it in the middle. Louis-Jean shoots and scores! The teenager with an insurance goal for Violette. Clifford Louis-Jean makes it 2 for the Haitian side. It's a great effort. Stays low to the ground, has some pace to it. And it is 2-0. After a loud moment for Defense Force on one side, Violette turns the page and gives cushion in this, their first ever match in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup.
Damas y caballeros, su atención por favor. Gol para el equipo Violette, anotado por el número 7.
For Louis-Jean, just 19 years old, has some youth national team experience with Haiti. 2 U17 appearances in 2023, and then 2 more with U20s the year after that. He's looking to up his profile once again here in this regional competition. Now it's going to take something much more heroic from Defense Force with just over 15 minutes left to go in this game. Violette with a strong start, and then just sprinkles throughout the rest of the game where they would have a moment where you're thinking maybe they could find that second goal. And they are able to find it there. And the visitors have something to offer in reply as this one's crossed in. Ball to the top of the 18. Sadu swerving. Cuts it back in the middle. Takes a couple of deflections. Violette will have hold of the ball. That one just carried along the touchline. This is the first game in Group A. And Violette looking to be at the top of it with 3 points and a +2 goal differential. Pretty darn good start, especially when you're up against a team in Defense Force that is ranked pretty highly. As this one's chested to the goalkeeper. Ranked highly amongst the teams that are in this competition. It's the best other team in this group, according to the ranking system we have in place here. There's a whistle from our head official. Looking to rekindle some hope here from the set piece. And they're going to get another crack at it from the corner flag this time. Here it comes from the left flag. Tried to be steered towards goal by Rion Moore, who's been trying to do what he can to help his team find a goal in this game, but it just hasn't reached the surface. I wonder if Walt Noriega will dig into the bag at any point again here. Meanwhile, Roni Atimi will be happy to see how his team has been able to manage this game. Up a goal for the majority of it, and now with the more comforting 2-0 lead, thanks to Clifford Louis-Jean, and Nader Sherry, who scored in the first half. Well chopped along. Violette will, as time continues to tick away, be more and more content with the ball just floating over to the attacking half. It'll be a matter of defense force to push the issue, but you also have to be careful. You do not want to be too risky here in this first match and put yourself in a situation where your goal differential is in a really bad spot. That could end up being the tiebreaker when you only play a couple of matches to determine a table. You never know how these other games will unfurl. And a -2 is repairable after one game. You get to -3 though, and then you start getting a little nervous. Coriat lifted back to him. Ref says play on. And defense force are once again on the attack. St. Hilaire to Coriat. Rivaldo Coriat spraying it over to the left-hand side. Here's the cross, and it's caught by the goalkeeper. Alien able to stretch up for that one. Able to intercept the cross before it could reach anybody dangerous. And just to put into perspective again, the fact that these two teams, especially talking about defense force in that goal differential conversation. Well, hold on that for a moment as got a player down, Steven Sabat. Teammates kneeling beside him, the captain's armband. We'll see if he is fit to continue or not. Another change for Walt Noriega. Jalon Matthews in for Sadu. Jalon Matthews, who turns 21 tomorrow, and try to give himself an early birthday present. There's a fingertip grab there from Elian. Sabat, hands on his head still as he gets stretchered off. Violette's able to see this through with all the 3 points. They'll be very happy going into their next match, which is on August 19th. Defense Force plays the day after that. That being against SV Broki. Violette with Delfines. Well, how about this? Elevens Dijon still going. Dijon all himself. Nearly a glorious solo effort. Elevens Dijon trying to get the goal of the tournament, potentially here in just the second match of the whole competition. Watch this. He's able to skirt by one defender, blow by a second, and then continue to shrug him off. He's nearly able to put that one into the far post. Instead, it just grazes it. Violette looking to continue to roll out the steam and potential in this game. They're doing a good job of it. Elevens Dijon in particular. Just being able to progress with the ball at his feet whenever he wants. Clifford Louis-Jean playing along that right-hand side. One of the 2 goal scorers in this game for Violette. Could they be hunting for another? It won't be the case here. Sherry just behind the back line. It's the correct call. Definitely got ahead of it. Violette settles it down, plays it to the touchline, kept in bounds. Well, so I thought. Jelon Matthews put in the effort that he could to try to maintain possession there for his side. Just 5 more minutes to go. We'll probably have a wealthy bit tacked on with some of the injuries we've had and stoppages elsewhere here in the second half of action. Jean on the ball once again. Puts it on a platter. The cutting pass spills out, and it's a 3rd goal for Violette. Incisive from the Haitians. What a debut entry into the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. Violette AC are making their status known. The Olays being shouted here from the supporters who made their way. It's a goal deserved for a man who's had himself a dangerous game, Violette Dejean. Now it's a goal and an assist in this match. This one's about being at the right place at the right time, which is a trait that you need to have as an attacking player. And he has been such a strong player for this team here in this match. We'll be curious to see how he shows up in these matches going forward. His 4th year playing with Violette after he originally joined in 2022 to spend a year on loan, as this one's crossed in, knocked away, still up in the air, hopping around as it goes, and eventually cleared. And that is an emphatic clearance. It's now the fans love everything that's flying away from danger, especially when that one was going towards them. This will be the end of the evening for the man who got things started here for Violette, Nader Sherry. He was the most fitting of guys to start this game, given the fact that, well, he's the highlight man going into the match. But since then, we've seen some other guys really step up to the plate, including the youngster Clifford Louis-Jean and Violette Dejean, both getting themselves onto the score sheet. Three points right now, 3 goals. Just another movement of poise here displayed. Something that really has been the case throughout this match for Violette. If I'm anybody else in this group, I'm seeing this game, and I'm shuddering. I think this is a Defense Force team that's got some quality. Violette has just handily took care of business. So you see 5 more minutes tacked on here by our 4th official, Hakeem Harvey. And it's 5 minutes to be savored for Violette. Their first ever match in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup, and can't go much better than this, especially against a team that you would assess as maybe one of your bigger challenges in this group. And you have just given yourself a 3-point lead on top of a 3-goal differential advantage. It's really the kind of opening statement that you just really hope for when you go into a group stage format. Just puts you in such an advantageous spot for your next 3 matches. This one loosely given away, though. Violette trying to help his team win something back here, something to take home. Wouldn't be the case there, but there's still a couple more minutes to salvage something from this match. Not most likely any points, but at least trying to amend that goal differential. I feel like -3 versus -2 is a significant difference. Could just be the gut feeling, but every goal could end up counting. They often do in group stage of soccer tournaments. I mean, at this point, you just expect him to be smooth with the ball at his feet, don't you? Violette knocking the ball around now. Looking to put it over the finish line. We'll be looking at Delphinas next in 2 weeks, and they'll be going in that one with utmost confidence. One of the reasons being because this guy's out there and the ref will wave off that contact. They're still down, so the whistle will sound from our head official. Again, August 19th for the game. Violette, August 20th, the day after, for what Defense Force will hope will be a bounce-back match. This one loosely given away, but just as quickly preventing anything from occurring there, as they now really only have one more goal in mind, Violette, which is to maintain this clean sheet. Could be one more chance for Defense Force. Goddard, to the left it goes. Matthews working forward. Maybe one last moment in this game before that final whistle. Matthews feeds it in. Felix, it's escorted out of bounds, and that should probably do it. Our head official looks at his watch. In their first ever Caribbean Cup appearance, Violette AC make a loud statement. A 3-0 victory against Defense Force.
Damas y caballeros, ha finalizado el partido y el marcador final es Violette AC 3.
Just well done from the Haitian club throughout. Couple moments where Defense Force looked like a side that could get back into the game, but it's at the end a confident 3-0 scoreline in favor of Violette. With that in mind, we're gonna step aside. When we come back, we'll have the full-time highlights for you here. We'll also maybe get some interviews on the pitch. But 3-0 is the final result. 3 points in favor of Violette. And everybody else in this competition gotta take notice.
¿Cuál es su opinión tras la victoria de esta noche?
¿Qué opinion gen sou match sa aswe a?
Et opinion m'a salué non, m'a salué tout le monde qui vient pour regarder vidéo. Et opinion pam, c'est que 2022 nous t'ai participé dans la compétition ça côté que nous t'es champion et nous venons là pour l'année 2026 et nous t'ai dit comme ça n'a pas le meilleur de nous-mêmes et pour nous toujours faire fanatique qui arrivé ça que nous t'ai fait en 2022.
Yo les saludo a todos. Mi opinión es que en 2022 salimos campeón y ahora, hoy, otra vez queremos dar como queremos dar lo mismo a los fanáticos.
¿Qué le gustó más de su equipo en este partido?
Qui sont tes pires mais je dis dans l'équipe là?
Et ça que me dépiré c'est comme si gens que jeunes comme si ils étaient dans bloc équipe là, tout le monde a bougé ensemble, n'a collé ensemble et que me fait 2 passes goal je dis suis vraiment satisfait, c'est ça que me dépiré 2 passes goal là avec goal que me fait pour la victoire équipement.
Dijo que lo que le gustó en el equipo hoy es su gol y los 2 pases que le dio al equipo.
Merci.
Merci.
What is your opinion after today's game?
I think we should just regroup as a team. Coming out, you know, it was hard. We fight till the end, just didn't get the results that we wanted. So we regroup and come to the next rounds again.
Why couldn't get a better result tonight?
Huh?
Why couldn't get a better result tonight?
Can't really answer, to be honest. But as I say, we regroup as a team and we come again. Yeah.
What should you improve for the next game?
I believe we should start the game a little faster, take our chances, and get into the game a little faster and maintain it. And in that way, we'll go longer.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Let's take a look at the full-time highlights here from this matchup between Violette and Defense Force. It starts with this goal from Nader Sherry. It's an excellent ball. He just has to slide on the receiving end of that one to make it 1-0 in the first half in favor of Violette. Puts it away, as he's done in big matches in the past for this club. Then, as the game went along, a couple of chances for Defense Force, trying to find that equalizer in the first 45 minutes. Nothing quite was able to be converted, though. That one, a pretty close opportunity, dinging off the left post. Then we get to the second half. Perhaps the biggest chance, actually the second biggest chance, I would say, for Defense Force in the second half. St. Hilaire couldn't put it on frame. Then on the other side, it was nearly 2-0. Cherie almost having a brace. But once again, the woodwork over here on this left goal doing its work to protect the goalkeeper that inhabited it. And we have this free kick, yellow card that would be brandished. This would be a promising moment. It would also result in a yellow card after Cherie would throw a hand to the face. And there's the second goal. Clifford Louis-Jean, 19 years old, able to place that one by the goalkeeper to make it 2-0. Just able to pick out that left-hand side, put enough pace on it. And at that moment, you're feeling pretty good if you're a fan of Violette. But they would hunt and find one more, but first, a chance on the other side that would be claimed. Defense Force had moments where if you equalize in this game, you wonder how this one unfurls. But instead, the scoreline will indicate a much more comfortable result. This was almost a wonderful goal from Elivens Dejan. Just glances that right post. Played so well the entire game, had the assist on the first goal. He ended up getting his a couple of moments later. It starts with him, then the pass across spills out and ends with him. Smashing that one home, makes it 3-0, and at that point, game over. All 3 points, a clean sheet to boot. Just about as perfect a start to this competition in your first ever entry into this competition that you could ask for. Let's get a look at the numbers after everything was said and done in this game. Leans a little bit in favor of Violette, but like I was saying, that scoreline is going to indicate that this game was a lot more separated than it really was. It's just clinical moments from Violette, more dangerous in that attacking third and more promising in the attacking third than Defense Force ever were. Now, we can take a look at where these two teams sit in the group. Of course, just one game in, but That certainly feels good if you're Violette. It feels the opposite if you're Defense Force, but still 3 more games to go for both of these teams. They'll play in 2 weeks' time. But we also have the game tomorrow and the next day, so that's where you should be tuning in next. But for tonight in our broadcast crew, I'm Mark Schoenster. Have a good night.